Hey! Welcome back, my friends. I'm Lena. This is our happy place to learn English together. We speak slowly, clearly, and with big smiles. Guess what? Today is special. We have a fun guest with us. Say hello to Leo. We'll talk about hobbies, the things we love to do, and we'll give you cool tips to learn new stuff. Are you excited? Come on, let's begin this fun adventure together.
Hello, Lena. I'm so happy to be here.
Hi, Leo. It's great to have you. How was your week?
It was very good. I worked a lot, but I also found time for my hobbies.
That's wonderful. What are your favorite hobbies, Leo?
My main hobby is gardening. I love to grow flowers and some vegetables, too.
Gardening? That sounds so peaceful. What do you grow?
I have beautiful roses and big red tomatoes. I love seeing new life grow.
That's truly special. I think gardening is a beautiful art. What do you do with the tomatoes?
I eat them. They are so fresh. I make salads with them.
That must taste amazing. Fresh food from your own garden. I love that. My hobby is a little different. I love to paint.
Painting? What do you paint?
I paint landscapes. I like to paint the sea and mountains. I use bright colors.
That sounds very creative. Is it difficult to paint?
It can be, but it's also relaxing. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to enjoy the process.
I agree. It's about enjoying the time, not just the final result.
Exactly. Speaking of new things, have you learned anything new recently, Leo?
Yes, I have. I am learning to cook new recipes. My grandmother taught me. I made a delicious soup last week.
Oh, that's so nice. What was the soup?
A vegetable soup. I used my garden tomatoes in it. It was a family recipe.
That's amazing. Learning from family is a great way to start. I am learning a new skill too. I am learning to knit.
Knitting? With needles and yarn?
Yes, that's right. I am making a warm scarf for winter. It's a bit slow, but it feels good to make something with my hands.
That takes a lot of patience. How do you learn? Do you watch videos?
I do. I watch simple tutorials online. I also asked a friend to show me the basics. It's about taking small steps.
That's a good tip. Small steps are important for any new skill. Don't try to do too much at once.
Yes, and be kind to yourself. If you make a mistake, it's okay. You just try again. That's the most important part of learning.
I like that advice. Be kind to yourself. I will remember that.
Thank you, Leo. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. You have such a peaceful spirit.
Thank you, Lena. The feeling is mutual. You inspire me to be more creative.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm so glad. So, what are your plans for the rest of your day, Leo?
I will water my garden, and then I'll read a book. I have a new one I just started.
That sounds perfect. Enjoy your day. I think I will go paint for a little while.
That sounds nice.
You too, Leo. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye for now. And that's our time for today. Thank you for listening. Remember to be patient with your learning. Find joy in the small steps. What is a new skill you want to learn? Think about it. Until next time, keep shining. Hey everyone! Welcome back to English Resonance, the perfect place to improve your English while having fun. I'm so happy you're here today because we've got something really special. In this episode, we're diving deep into the importance of reading, how it sparks imagination, builds knowledge, and creates meaningful moments in our lives. So get comfy, grab your favorite drink, and let's enjoy this awesome English conversation together. Let's go.
Hey, Ozbla. I've been hooked on this fantasy novel lately, and it's got me thinking about how powerful reading is. It's like stepping into a different universe where I can be a hero or explore new worlds without leaving my couch. Do you have a favorite book that's been sparking your imagination lately?
Oh, James, I totally get why you're so excited. I'm reading a historical fiction novel right now, and it feels like I'm time traveling to 18th century France. Reading lets me live so many lives and see the world through different eyes. It's like a gift that keeps giving. What is it about your fantasy novel that's got you so hooked?
It's the way the author builds this intricate world with dragons and magic. It makes me feel like anything's possible. Reading it after a long day helps me unwind and escape the stress of school and work. Plus, I've been picking up new words and ideas that make me think differently. Do you find reading helps you relax or sparks new thoughts for you?
Both, definitely. After a busy day, curling up with a book is my go-to way to de-stress, especially with a cup of tea and some soft music. The historical novel I'm reading is teaching me so much about culture and politics from that era, which makes me feel more curious about the world. Have you ever learned something surprising from a book that changed how you see things?
Totally. Last month, I read a nonfiction book about space exploration, and it blew my mind how much teamwork goes into a single mission. It made me appreciate collaboration more in my own life, like when I'm working on group projects at school. What's a big lesson you've picked up from your reading?
That's so cool. My historical novel showed me how people in the past dealt with challenges like war and change, and it made me realize how resilient humans are. It's inspired me to stay strong when things get tough, like during exams. Do you ever talk about the books you read with your friends or family?
Yeah, I love sharing book recommendations with my sister. She's the one who got me into sci-fi in the first place. We have these long debates about the characters and what we do in their situations, which is so much fun. It's like reading brings us closer together. Do you have bookish conversations with anyone in your life?
Oh, absolutely. My best friend and I have a little book club, just the two of us, where we pick a book each month and discuss it over coffee. Last week, we talked about how the characters' choices made us rethink our own decisions. It's amazing how reading can spark such deep talks. What kind of books does your sister recommend?
She's all about epic sci-fi adventures with lots of plot twists. Think spaceships and alien worlds. Her last recommendation had me up all night turning pages because I couldn't stop reading. It's cool how books can keep you so engaged. Have you ever stayed up way too late because of a book?
Haha, guilty. Last month, I was reading a mystery novel and stayed up till 2 a.m. to find out who the culprit was. I was so invested. Reading like that feels like a workout for my brain, keeping it sharp and curious. Do you think reading has made you better at problem solving or thinking creatively?
Definitely. That sci-fi book I mentioned has all these puzzles the characters solve, and it's got me thinking more creatively about my own challenges, like figuring out a tricky math problem. Plus, reading helps me imagine different solutions and perspectives. Have you noticed reading helping you in school or work?
Oh, for sure. Reading has improved my writing so much because I pick up new vocabulary and sentence structures without even trying. In school, I've started using ideas from books in my essays, and my teachers have noticed the difference. What's a skill you've gained from reading that's helped you outside of books?
I've gotten better at understanding people's emotions because of reading. Novels, especially ones with deep characters, let me see why people act the way they do, which helps when I'm talking to friends or customers at my part-time job. It's like books give me a cheat code for empathy. Do you find reading makes you more connected to others?
Absolutely. It's like a bridge to other people's hearts. When I read stories about different cultures or struggles, I feel more open minded and ready to listen to others' perspectives. I even started a book drive at school to share that feeling with others. Have you ever done anything to spread your love of reading?
That's such a great idea. I haven't done a book drive, but I volunteer at the library sometimes, helping kids pick out books during story time. Seeing their eyes light up when they find a story they love is so rewarding. What inspired you to start that book drive?
Oh, that's so sweet. The book drive came from realizing not everyone has easy access to books. Some kids at my school couldn't afford them. I wanted to make sure everyone could experience the joy of reading. So we collected over 200 books last year. What's it like working with kids at the library?
It's so much fun. The kids are so curious, asking questions about the characters or why things happen in the story. Helping them find books that excite them makes me feel like I'm passing on the magic of reading. Have you ever had a moment where a book really connected you with someone unexpected?
Yes. Last summer, I lent a book to my neighbor who's usually super shy, and we ended up talking for hours about the story's themes. It was like the book opened a door to a new friendship. Reading really has this way of bringing people together. Have you made any surprising connections through books?
Totally. At the library, I met an older volunteer who loves the same sci-fi series I do, and now we swap book recommendations all the time. It's cool how reading connects people across ages and backgrounds. Do you think reading helps you understand different generations or cultures?
Oh, definitely. Reading books from authors around the world has taught me so much about how people live and think in places I've never been. It's like traveling without a passport, and it makes me more respectful of differences. What's a book that's opened your eyes to a new culture or way of life?
There was this novel set in Japan that I read last year, and it showed me so much about their traditions and family dynamics. It was like a window into another world. It made me want to learn more about other cultures through books. Have you ever been inspired to try something new because of a book?
Yes. After reading a book about mindfulness, I started meditating for a few minutes each day, and it's helped me stay calm during stressful times. Books can be such great teachers, giving you ideas to improve your life. What's something a book has inspired you to try?
That's awesome. A book about entrepreneurship inspired me to start a small side hustle selling bookmarks I designed. It's small, but it's fun to create something. Reading gave me the confidence to try it out. Have you ever faced any challenges in finding time to read with a busy schedule?
Oh, that's such a cool hustle. Finding time to read can be tough with school and chores, but I try to sneak in 20 minutes before bed. It's my sacred reading time. Sometimes I listen to audiobooks while doing dishes to fit it in. How do you make time for reading with your busy days?
Audiobooks are a game changer. I listen to them while biking to school or during my breaks at the library. It's like reading on the go. I also keep a book in my bag for any spare moments, like waiting for the bus. Do you ever struggle with distractions like social media when you're trying to read?
Oh, social media is such a trap. I've started putting my phone in another room when I read to stay focused. It really helps me dive into the story. It's like giving my brain a break from all the notifications. What do you do to avoid getting sidetracked by your phone or other distractions?
I hear you. I turn my phone on silent and set a timer for 30 minutes of reading. It's like a challenge to stay focused, and it feels so good when I do. Sometimes I read in a quiet corner of the library to avoid distractions entirely. Have you ever tried reading different genres to keep things fresh?
Yes, mixing genres is so fun. I'll go from a mystery to a memoir to a fantasy novel. It keeps reading exciting and sparks new ideas. Last month, a biography about an artist inspired me to start sketching. Do you switch up your genres or do you stick to sci-fi mostly?
I'm a sci-fi fan at heart, but I've been branching out lately. A historical thriller I read last week was surprisingly gripping. Trying new genres feels like exploring new worlds without leaving my chair. What's a genre you never thought you'd like, but ended up loving?
I never thought I'd enjoy poetry, but I read a collection last month and it was so beautiful. It made me feel things I didn't expect. Now I keep a poetry book on my nightstand for quick reads. Have you ever been surprised by a book that wasn't your usual style?
Totally. I picked up a romance novel on a whim, thinking it wouldn't be my thing, but the characters were so real I couldn't put it down. It made me realize how every genre has something special to offer. Do you think reading has changed the way you dream or imagine things?
Oh, for sure. Reading vivid stories makes my dreams so much more colorful, like I'm living in the book's world sometimes. It's also sparked my creativity, like when I write stories for fun. Does reading ever influence your dreams or creative ideas?
Definitely. After reading sci-fi, I have these wild dreams about flying spaceships or exploring alien planets. It's like my brain keeps the story going. I've even started writing short stories inspired by what I read. Have you ever written something based on a book you loved?
Yes. After reading a fantasy novel, I wrote a short story about a magical forest. It was so fun to create my own world. Reading always gives me new ideas to play with, like a spark for my imagination. What kind of stories do you write when you're inspired?
That sounds amazing. My stories are usually sci-fi adventures with robots and space travel, inspired by the books I read. Writing them helps me process the big ideas I find in books, like what it means to be human. Do you share your writing with anyone, or is it just for you?
I love that you explore big ideas. I share my stories with my book club friend sometimes. She gives great feedback that makes me want to write more. It's like reading and writing go hand in hand for me. Have you ever thought about sharing your stories with a bigger audience?
That's so cool that you share your work. I've thought about posting my stories online, but I'm a bit nervous about what people might think. Reading has given me the courage to try, though, since authors take risks all the time. What's the hardest part about reading for you sometimes?
I totally get being nervous about sharing. It's a big step. The hardest part for me is when I hit a slow chapter in a book and have to push through. It's tempting to skip ahead, but I'm learning patience. Reading teaches me to stick with things. What's a reading challenge you faced?
Sometimes I struggle with dense nonfiction books. They're packed with info, but I have to read slowly to get it all. It's worth it, though, because I learn so much, like about history or science. Have you ever powered through a tough book and felt proud afterward?
Yes, I read a classic novel last year that was super dense, but finishing it felt like climbing a mountain. I was so proud. It taught me to appreciate slower, richer stories. What's a book you're proud of finishing that was a bit of a challenge?
I tackled a 600-page fantasy epic last summer, and it took weeks, but crossing the finish line felt amazing. It had so many characters and twists that it trained my brain to focus better. Do you think reading has made you better at handling complex tasks?
Definitely. Reading long or complicated books has helped me stay organized and patient, like when I'm working on big school projects. It's like training my brain to handle a lot of details at once. What's a complex task reading has helped you with?
Reading has helped me with my part-time job at the library. Keeping track of books and helping customers find what they need feels easier because I'm used to following complex plots. It's like books have sharpened my focus. Do you think reading could help with bigger life goals?
Oh, absolutely. Reading about people who overcame obstacles inspires me to set goals, like maybe studying abroad one day. Books show me what's possible and give me the courage to dream big. What's a big goal reading has inspired for you?
That's so inspiring. Reading about space exploration has made me dream of working in tech or science one day. Maybe even designing something cool like a new app. Books make those goals feel reachable. What's a book that's made you dream bigger?
A biography about a scientist who discovered new planets made me want to explore astronomy. It's like books open doors to new passions. Reading her story showed me how curiosity can lead to amazing things. What's a book that sparked a new passion for you?
A book about coding and tech pioneers got me interested in learning to code. It's tough, but I'm starting small with online tutorials. Reading about their journeys makes me feel like I can do it too. How do you balance reading with all your other hobbies?
That's so cool, James. I try to balance reading with my hobbies by setting aside specific times, like reading before bed or on weekends. It's like making a date with my books so I don't miss out. How do you juggle reading with your busy schedule?
I carve out time by reading during lunch breaks or before bed. It's like my daily treat. I also keep an e-reader on my phone for quick reads when I'm waiting somewhere. Reading's too important to skip. Thanks for this chat, Azibla. It's made me love books even more.
Oh, you're so welcome, James. This has been such a fun deep dive into why reading matters. I'm already excited for our next chat, maybe about our favorite book genres. Let's keep spreading the love for reading. And thank you to everyone watching or listening. I truly hope this conversation made you smile and gave you a little inspiration for your own reading journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow English Residents for more fun, real-life English conversations that help you grow and connect. See you next time. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode on my channel. I'm Luna, and today we're going deep into something that affects every student at some point, the reality of studying, school pressure, favorite and frustrating subjects, and how to actually enjoy the learning process without losing your mind. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications because we talk about everything that helps you grow smarter and stronger every week. Also, check out my amazing friend Diego and his powerful channel, English Resonance. He creates super useful content for English learners and students who want to level up not just their grades, but their thinking. Now buckle up because this conversation is going to get real, relatable, and hopefully very helpful.
Hey, Luna, and hello to all your incredible viewers. I'm Diego from English Resonance, and honestly, I couldn't be more excited for today's topic. School and education are not just about books and exams. They shape the way we think, feel, and even dream. But let's face it, sometimes it gets hard, and it's okay to admit that. Today, we're going to share how we deal with the ups and downs and how to study smarter, not just harder.
Exactly. And let me start by being totally honest. I've always struggled with math. I know some people find it satisfying, like solving a puzzle. But for me, graphs, geometry, algebra, my brain literally freezes. Especially when there's a chart or a complicated diagram, I get lost. I used to sit for hours looking at a question and feel like crying.
Wow, that's so real. I actually feel the same way about history and geography. Every time I open a chapter about ancient civilizations or climate zones, I get this strange sadness or stress. I don't know why. It's not that I hate the subjects. It's just that they don't connect with me emotionally. Memorizing dates, events, capitals, it feels dry. Do you think that emotional reaction is common?
Absolutely. I think some subjects trigger anxiety because of past failures or pressure. When you fail a math test once, your brain stores that memory with pain. So the next time you open a textbook, your body reacts with stress, even before you start. It's almost physical.
Wow, that's so true. I never thought of it that way. For me, science and physics are where I feel comfortable. I love understanding how things work. Newton's laws, circuits, energy, they make sense. They're logical. But when I read about Napoleon's wars or the economic map of Africa, I feel like my brain turns into spaghetti.
I love that. Brain spaghetti. I might steal that line. For me, my comfort zone is literature and languages. I love reading poems, analyzing characters, and writing essays. I feel free when I write, like I'm building my own universe. But give me one triangle equation and I'm out.
And that's the beauty of learning. We all have different strengths. But here's the thing, we still have to pass all subjects, not just the ones we enjoy. So, how do you handle subjects you don't like, Luna?
I break them down, literally. If I have 10 pages of math, I'll divide them into mini goals, 2 pages a day. I also gamify my study, give myself points, rewards, or even stickers like I'm in first grade. It sounds silly, but it works. And I always study the hard subjects first thing in the morning. That's when my brain is fresh. What about you?
That's smart. I do something similar. I use the Pomodoro technique 25 minutes of focused study, then 5-minute break. After 4 rounds, I take a longer break. It keeps me from burning out. And when I'm dealing with subjects like history, I use storytelling. I try to imagine the people in the textbook as movie characters. That way I can remember the story, not just the dates.
That's brilliant. Turning boring content into emotional stories is one of the best ways to remember. Also, I use color coding: blue for math, red for literature, green for science. It creates visual memory connections. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt completely stuck, like nothing makes sense?
Oh, yes, many times. There were days I stared at my textbook and felt like I'd forgotten how to read. Seriously, that usually happens when I'm overwhelmed or tired. That's when I stop, breathe, and go outside. Just 15 minutes of fresh air or walking changes everything.
I love that. Nature resets the brain. I also meditate just for 5 minutes to clear mental noise. And I avoid multitasking. People think it's productive, but switching between phone, laptop, and notes actually slows you down.
Exactly. Focus is a muscle. You have to train it. Let's talk about procrastination, the silent killer. What do you do when you just don't feel like studying?
Ooh, I fight that demon every day. What helps me is a 2 minute rule. I tell myself, just study for 2 minutes. Most times, once I start, I keep going. Also, I use study with me videos on YouTube. Just having someone silently studying beside me helps me focus. It's weirdly powerful.
Same. I also set a timer and create a study atmosphere. Clean desk, good lighting, relaxing music. And one thing I always remind myself, you don't need motivation. You need momentum. Once you begin, motivation catches up.
Wow, that's powerful. You don't need motivation, you need momentum. I'm writing that on my wall. Okay, Diego, final thoughts. If someone out there is struggling, maybe they just failed a test or feel like giving up, what would you tell them?
I tell them this. You are not your grades. A bad score doesn't define you. It's just feedback. Learn from it, adjust your strategy, and keep going. Progress is more important than perfection. And if you ever feel lost, come visit my channel, English Resonance. We're building a community that supports each other, not just academically, but emotionally.
That's beautiful. I'd add, be kind to yourself. Some days will be bad, that's part of the journey. But every time you show up and try, you're winning. And don't forget to subscribe here for more real talk, study advice, and motivation. Together, we're going to make learning not just bearable, but powerful.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for having me, Luna. And to everyone watching, keep going. Your future self will thank you. You've got this.
Yes, you do. This is Luna and Diego signing off with knowledge, love, and lots of learning. See you next time on the next episode. And don't forget,
Subscribe to English Resonance. See you soon, champions.
Welcome to English Resonance, the podcast that's like a fireworks explosion for your English journey, bursting with energy, laughter, and tips to make you a confident communicator. I'm James, your English mentor and Hype Squad leader, and I'm practically jumping out of my seat because I'm so thrilled you're here. Picture yourself acing exams, leading global discussions, and unlocking your dreams with English as your superpower. English Resonance is your guide to that world. Hit that subscribe button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Follow us on social media for daily inspiration, and join our community of language rock stars to make English your ticket to success.
Yo, James, I'm right here, but I'm still tripping over words like rural. Seriously, why is that word so hard? I'm stoked to be on English Resonance, but I need help figuring out why English is such a big deal for education. It feels like I'm stuck in a maze with no way out.
Don't worry, Elena. We're handing you a map and a rocket booster today. We're diving deep into why English is your ultimate education superpower, with 10 massive reasons it's a game changer, plus what happens when you don't have it. Get ready for practical tips, real talk, and plenty of laughs to make this your best study session yet.
10 reasons? That's a lot to unpack. All right, let's do this. Why is English so critical for education? I'm thinking it's just for fancy universities, but there's gotta be more to it, right?
You're in for a treat, Elena. Reason 1, English unlocks a world of knowledge. Most top-tier textbooks, research papers, and online courses, like those on Coursera or edX, are in English. Without fluency, you're stuck with limited, often outdated resources, like trying to build a skyscraper with a toothpick.
That's tough. I've struggled to find good study materials in my language before. It's like digging for gold in a sandbox. How do I start tapping into this English knowledge treasure without getting overwhelmed?
Great question. Explore one English resource a week, like a YouTube tutorial, a podcast, or an article tied to your studies. Listen to English Resonance for academic phrases like, "This concept is fascinating," and use them to summarize what you learn, like, "This video explained a fascinating idea about biology." It's like unlocking a library with no walls.
I'm loving this library vibe. What's reason 2? I'm betting it's about universities since you mentioned those big names.
You're on point, Elena. Reason 2, English is essential for higher education. Top universities like Harvard or Oxford teach in English, and even in non-English speaking countries, fields like medicine or engineering use English textbooks or lectures. Tests like IELTS or TOEFL demand strong English skills. Without them, you're locked out of global academic opportunities.
Ouch, that hits close. I looked into an international program once and the English requirements were like a brick wall. I couldn't even understand the application. How do I get ready for that without losing it?
Start small. Write short academic summaries after a class or podcast. Tune into English Resonance for phrases like, "The main takeaway is," or "This research suggests," and use them in your notes, like, "The main takeaway from this lecture is renewable energy." It's like training for a marathon. One step builds your academic strength.
Okay, I can handle steps. Does English help with thinking smarter? I'm pretty sharp, but I could use a boost sometimes.
You're plenty sharp, Elena. Reason 3, English sharpens your critical thinking. Reading articles, watching lectures, or debating in English exposes you to global perspectives, pushing you to analyze and articulate complex ideas. Discussing topics like climate change in English forces you to clarify your thoughts and engage with diverse viewpoints.
That sounds like a lot. I've tried reading English journals, but I get stuck on words like methodology. Any tips to make it less scary and maybe even fun?
Definitely. Engage with one thought-provoking English piece a week, like a TED Talk or a blog post, and write a short response, like, "I agree with this because." Listen to English Resonance for phrases like, "That's a compelling argument," or "I see it differently," and try them in a mock debate with yourself. It's like a mental gym that's actually a blast.
All right, I'm sold on the brain workout. What's next? I'm guessing English helps with working with others, like in group projects?
You're reading my mind. Reason 4, English powers global collaboration. Education today involves group projects, virtual classrooms, and international conferences, all in English. It lets you share ideas, lead discussions, and connect with students worldwide, making you a key player in any academic team.
I've been in groups where everyone's chatting in English and I'm just nodding, feeling like I'm out of place. How do I jump in without sounding like a robot?
Join an English study group or online forum and practice intros like "I'm excited to collaborate." Listen to English resonance for teamwork phrases like "let's brainstorm" or "can you share your thoughts?" and use them in a group chat like "let's brainstorm solutions for this project." You'll be leading the pack in no time.
I want to be the brainstorming queen. What's another reason English is so big for education? Keep it coming, James.
Reason 5, English boosts your exam performance. Many academic tests like IELTS, AT, or local exams require strong English for reading, writing, or listening sections. Fluency helps you understand questions clearly, write clear essays, and score higher, giving you an edge over others who struggle.
Exams are my nightmare. I once misread an English question and bombed it because I didn't get the wording. How do I avoid that kind of disaster?
Practice English responses to sample exam questions. After studying, write or say, "This theory is effective because." Tune into English resonance for exam-friendly phrases like "to illustrate" or "in conclusion," and use them in practice essays like "to illustrate, this study shows." It's like sharpening your sword before battle.
Okay, I'm feeling ready to slay those exams. What about online learning? I see tons of courses, but they're all in English, and I feel left out.
Perfect segue. Reason 6, English builds digital literacy. Most online courses, academic databases, and educational apps use English interfaces. Whether you're navigating Moodle or following a coding tutorial, English helps you master these tools, keeping you ahead in the digital education game.
I've fumbled through those English menus. Words like submit or module trip me up. Any tips to make navigating that stuff smoother?
Explore one English language educational tool a week, like a free course on Coursera or an app's instructions. Listen to English resonance for tech phrases like "this platform is user-friendly" or "let's explore this tool," and use them while navigating, like "this app is so user-friendly." It's like upgrading your digital skills effortlessly.
I'm starting to see English as a total game changer. What's reason 7? I'm ready for more.
Reason 7, English enhances research skills. Most cutting-edge research from science to social studies is published in English. Fluency lets you read journals, analyze data, and cite sources accurately, making your work stand out as professional and credible.
Research sounds intense. I've seen those English journals, and they're like a foreign language. How do I tackle them without getting lost?
Start with one English research article a month and summarize its main points in simple English. Listen to English resonance for phrases like "this study highlights" or "the findings suggest," and use them in your summaries, like "this study highlights new trends in biology." It's like building a research superpower one step at a time.
Okay, I'm ready to be a research rock star. What's reason 8? Keep it rolling, James.
Reason 8, English improves presentation skills. Whether it's a class presentation, a conference talk, or a thesis defense, English lets you communicate ideas clearly and confidently. Fluency helps you engage your audience, answer questions, and leave a lasting impression.
Presentations scare me. I once froze because I couldn't pronounce statistics right. How do I get better without embarrassing myself?
Practice short presentations in English, like explaining a topic to a friend. Tune into English resonance for phrases like "let's dive into this topic" or "to sum up," and use them in your practice, like "to sum up, this project shows." It's like rehearsing for a big performance and you'll steal the show.
I'm starting to feel like a presenter. What's reason 9? I'm hooked now.
Reason 9, English connects you to global academic communities. From online forums to international seminars, English lets you network with scholars, share ideas, and stay updated on global trends. It's like joining a worldwide club of learners where your voice matters.
I've seen those forums, but I'm too shy to post because my English isn't perfect. How do I get the confidence to join in?
Start by commenting on one English academic post a week, like "great point, I'd love to learn more." Listen to English resonance for networking phrases like "I appreciate your perspective," and use them in forums, like "I appreciate your perspective." It's like dipping your toes into the global academic pool.
All right, I'm ready to network. What's the final reason English is so crucial for education?
Here's your challenge.
Make English Resonance your daily English spark. Listen to one episode a day, pick 2 phrases to repeat out loud, and use them in your studies, like, "This concept is fascinating," for a lecture, or "Let's collaborate" in a group project. Practice with yourself, your notes, your coffee mug, whatever's listening.
My coffee mug's about to get fluent. Thanks, James. You make English feel like an adventure, not a chore. I'm ready to make it my superpower.
That's the spirit, Elena. To all our listeners, you've got the tools to make English your education game changer. Now go out there and own it.
If this episode lit a fire under you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your classmates, your study buddies, or that guy in the library who's always glued to his laptop.
Smash that subscribe button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen, and follow English Resonance on social media for daily tips to keep your English soaring. Leave us a 5-star review, or Elena will mispronounce rural in your honor.
I'll do it too. Thanks for joining us, language warriors. Let's make English your ticket to crushing it in education and beyond.
This is English Resonance, where we don't just learn English, we live it, we love it, and we make it roar. Picture yourself acing exams, leading global discussions, and chasing your wildest dreams with English as your ultimate superpower. Every phrase you try, every laugh you share is a spark that lights up your future. Keep listening, keep practicing, and let's skyrocket your education to new heights. Subscribe now, share this episode with every student who needs a boost, and join our community to make learning an epic and unstoppable adventure. This is James and Elena signing off. Keep resonating, keep shining, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Woo!
Hey everyone! Welcome back to English Resonance, the perfect place to improve your English while having fun. I'm so happy you're here today because we've got something really special. In this episode, we're diving deep into daily life routines, cooking, working, spending time with family, and how little things make big memories. So get comfy, grab your favorite drink, and let's enjoy this awesome English conversation together. Let's go!
Hey Lana, I had such a great start to my day. I was up at 5:30 a.m. to help my mom at our family's flower shop, arranging roses and tulips before we open. The quiet morning and the smell of fresh flowers make it feel like a little escape before the day gets busy. How did your morning kick off?
Morning, Mark. A flower shop sounds so dreamy. I woke up at 6:45 a.m., did a quick stretch to wake up, and helped my dad make breakfast. Today we made avocado toast with a sprinkle of chili flakes. We always chat about random stuff while we cook, like what's blooming in our garden. Do you and your mom have any special moments while setting up the shop?
Oh yeah, those moments are the best. While we're trimming stems or watering plants, my mom tells me stories about her childhood, like how she used to make flower crowns with her friends. It makes the early mornings feel so special, like we're keeping a family tradition alive. What kind of stories does your dad share in the kitchen?
That's so sweet. My dad loves telling me about his old summer camping trips while we prep breakfast. Today, he was laughing about the time he tried to cook pancakes over a campfire and ended up with a smoky mess. It's those stories that make cooking together feel like a little adventure. What do you do after your morning shift to get ready for school?
Campfire pancakes sound like a story. After the shop, I head home for a quick breakfast, usually yogurt and granola, and then I bike to school. The ride through the neighborhood is so refreshing, especially when I pass the bakery and smell fresh bread. How do you get to school, and does it help set the tone for your day?
Biking sounds so energizing. I walk to school with my cousin, Leo, and we spend the whole time joking about silly things like who's the worst at math homework. It's a short walk, but it's like a daily dose of fun before classes start. Do you go back to the flower shop after school to help out?
Haha, I bet you and Leo have a blast. Yeah, I head back to the shop most afternoons. It gets busy with customers picking out bouquets, and I help wrap flowers or ring up sales. I'm learning how to talk to people and make them smile, which feels really rewarding. What's your after-school routine like?
That's so cool that you're spreading joy with flowers. After school, I dive into my homework to get it out of the way. Then I help my mom in our backyard veggie patch. We're growing tomatoes and basil now, and it's so satisfying to pick fresh ingredients for dinner. Have you learned any cool tricks at the flower shop that you're proud of?
Fresh veggies sound amazing. At the shop, I've gotten pretty good at arranging bouquets. My mom taught me how to mix colors and textures to make them pop. Last week, I made a bouquet for a customer's anniversary, and she loved it so much she hugged me. Do you ever share your garden harvests with neighbors or friends?
Aw, that's so sweet. Yeah, we love sharing our garden stuff. Yesterday, we gave our neighbor some basil, and she made us a batch of homemade pesto. It feels like such a nice way to connect with people. Do you have any regular customers at the shop who brighten your day?
That pesto sounds delicious. We have this one customer, Mrs. Rivera, who comes in every week for sunflowers and always tells me about her grandkids. Helping her pick the perfect flowers feels like I'm part of her family's story. What's dinner time like at your house? Any fun traditions?
Sunflowers are so cheerful. Dinner at our place is a big deal. We have a no screens rule, so we actually talk to each other. Last night, my sister was telling us about her school play, and we all ended up acting out silly scenes at the table. What's the vibe like at your family dinners?
I loved the no screens rule. Our dinners are super lively too. My brother always tries to sneak extra dessert, and my dad tells these long stories about his old job as a gardener. We laugh a lot, and it's like the day's stress just melts away. Do you help with dinner prep or cleanup at home?
That sounds so fun. I usually help my mom prep dinner. Tonight we're making stir fry with our garden veggies, and I love chopping everything up. After we eat, I help clear the table, and we sometimes play music to make cleanup more fun. What do you do after dinner to wind down?
Stir fry sounds tasty. After dinner, I help wash dishes, which is when my mom and I catch up about little things like what flowers sold out today. Then I like to relax by playing my ukulele for a bit. It's not fancy, but it helps me chill out. Do you have any go-to hobbies for unwinding?
Ukulele, that's so cool. I love curling up with a book or writing in my journal about my day. It's like a quiet moment to reflect. Sometimes I light a vanilla candle to make my room feel extra cozy. Have you been playing the ukulele for a long time?
Journaling sounds so relaxing. I started playing the ukulele about a year ago, just teaching myself some chords from YouTube. It's a nice way to clear my mind, especially after a busy day at the shop. Do you ever share your journal entries with anyone, or are they just for you?
I love that you're self-taught. My journal is mostly private, but sometimes I read funny bits to my sister, like when I write about our dog stealing food. I also like sketching little doodles in the margins to capture moments, like flowers from our garden. Do you ever draw or do anything creative besides music?
That's so cool that you doodle in your journal. I sometimes sketch flowers or plants in a notebook when I'm at the shop. It helps me remember the arrangements I make. It's nothing professional, just a fun way to capture the day. What's the most memorable thing you've grown in your garden?
Sketching flowers sounds so artistic. The most memorable thing we grew was a giant pumpkin last year. It was so big we could barely carry it. We ended up carving it for Halloween and sharing it with neighbors, which turned into a big black party. Do you have any favorite flowers you work with at the shop?
A giant pumpkin sounds epic. I love working with peonies at the shop. They're so fluffy and cheerful, and customers always smile when they see them. Last week, I made a peony centerpiece for a wedding, and it felt like such a big deal. Do you have any garden projects you're excited about right now?
Peonies are so pretty. We're trying to grow lavender in the garden this year, and I'm so excited to see if it works. It smells amazing and could be great for tea or candles. Gardening with my dad feels like a little science experiment. What's the busiest time at the flower shop for you?
Lavender sounds like a dream. The shop gets super busy around holidays, like Valentine's Day, when everyone wants red roses. I love the chaos, though. It's fun helping people pick out gifts for their loved ones. Do you and your dad have any special gardening traditions?
That holiday rush sounds exciting. Every spring, my dad and I plant one new thing in the garden to mark the season. This year, it's the lavender. It's our way of celebrating new beginnings, and we always take a photo with the first sprout. What's a tradition you and your mom have at the shop?
That's such a cool tradition. At the shop, my mom and I always make a special display for the first day of spring. Bright flowers like daisies and tulips to welcome the season. We also give out free flower seeds to customers to spread the joy. What's the best dish you've made with your garden ingredients?
Free flower seeds? That's so sweet. The best dish we made was a compressy salad with our homegrown tomatoes and basil. It was so fresh and summery. We ate it outside on the patio, and it felt like a little celebration of our garden. What's a favorite treat you get to try at the flower shop or nearby?
That salad sounds amazing. There's a barista from the cafe next to the shop, Lily, who I sometimes chat with after work. We swap stories about our crazy busy days. It's nice to connect with people who get the shop life. What's a favorite snack or treat you make at home?
Chocolate croissants? Yum! We love making fruit smoothies at home, especially with berries from our garden. My brother always adds too much honey, but it's so good. It's our go-to snack when we're hanging out after dinner. What do you do to relax after a long day at the shop?
Smoothies sound refreshing. After the shop, I like to sit on our porch and listen to music. Usually something chill, like acoustic guitar. It helps me unwind and think about the day, especially if I've had a lot of customers. Do you have a favorite way to end your day?
I love that porch vibe. I usually end my day by reading a book or listening to a podcast in bed, something light, like a mystery story. I also jot down 3 things I'm grateful for in my journal, like a good meal or a funny family moment. Have you ever tried journaling or something like that?
Journaling gratitude sounds so nice. I haven't tried it, but I do keep a little notebook where I write down ideas for new flower arrangements or lyrics for songs I'm messing around with. It's a great way to capture random thoughts before bed. What's been your favorite journal entry lately?
Ooh, song lyrics sound so creative. My favorite journal entry this week was about a day when my family had a picnic in the backyard with our garden veggies. It felt so perfect. I even drew a little sketch of the picnic table. What's a flower arrangement you're really proud of?
That picnic sounds so fun. I'm proud of a bouquet I made last month with lilies and baby's breath. It was for a customer's mom, and she said it made her day. It's cool to know something I created can mean so much to someone. What's a garden moment that made you really proud?
That's so heartwarming. I was really proud when our sunflowers bloomed last summer. They grew taller than me, and we took so many photos with them. It felt like a big win after weeks of watering and waiting. What's the most fun you've had helping a customer at the shop?
Sunflowers are the best. The most fun was helping a kid pick out flowers for his mom's birthday. He was so excited and kept changing his mind, but we settled on bright daisies. Seeing his smile when he left was the best part of my day. Do you ever have fun moments with your neighbors over gardening?
That's adorable. Yeah, our neighbor Mr. Chen loves our garden and sometimes brings over his homemade dumplings to trade for our veggies. Last week, we had a little garden party where we all shared food. It was so much fun. Do you ever hang out with people from the shop outside of work?
Dumplings for veggies? That's a great trade. There's a barista from the cafe next door, Lily, who I sometimes chat with after work. We swap stories about our crazy busy days. It's nice to connect with people who get the shop life. What's one thing you'd love to add to your daily routine?
That sounds so fun. I'd love to add morning yoga to my routine. It seems like such a peaceful way to start the day, especially in the garden. I think it helped me feel more focused and calm. What's a new routine you'd like to try?
Yoga in the garden sounds amazing. I'd love to start writing down one cool thing that happens each day at the shop, like a mini journal. It helped me remember the little moments that make work special. Thanks for the awesome chat, Lana. It's making me appreciate my day so much more.
Oh, I love that idea, Mark. This has been so fun, and I'm already excited for our next chat. Maybe we'll talk about our weekend routines or favorite hobbies. It's amazing how much our daily lives have in common. Let's do this again soon.
Totally, I'm in. Talking about all this makes me see how special the little things are, like arranging flowers and laughing with my family. Can't wait to share more next time.
Aw, thank you, Mark. And thank you to everyone watching or listening. I hope this conversation made you smile and gave you some inspiration for your own daily life. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow English Resonance for more fun, real life English conversations that help you grow. See you next time, and remember, your daily life is more beautiful than you think.
Hello, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Elena, and I'm thrilled to be here again with you today. And joining me, as always, is James, full of curiosity and always ready to dive deep. Today's topic is something many of us adore, crave, and even rely on daily: coffee. Not just a drink, but a ritual, a culture, and for some, a lifelong love. James, are you ready?
More than ready, Elena. This is a topic that literally runs through my veins. I think coffee is not just something you drink, it's something you live. So let's begin right at the roots. Where did this magical bean come from?
Great start. Coffee, as far as most historians agree, originated in Ethiopia. There's a famous legend of a goat herder named Kaldi who noticed his goats dancing energetically after eating red berries from a certain tree. That tree, of course, was coffee. From Ethiopia, coffee spread to Yemen, where it was first cultivated systematically. The port city of Mocha, yes, that's where the name comes from, became a major coffee trading hub in the 15th century.
That's wild. So the goats discovered it first. And from Yemen, I guess it traveled through the Islamic world?
Exactly. By the 16th century, coffee had spread throughout the Ottoman Empire, Persia, and North Africa. It was consumed in coffee houses known as kave-khane, which became centers of intellectual exchange, music, chess, and conversation, like early podcast lounges.
I love that image. Candles, poetry, and tiny cups of strong, mysterious brew. When did it reach Europe?
In the 17th century, through the port of Venice, coffee entered Europe. Some religious figures called it the bitter invention of Satan, but once Pope Clement VIII tasted it, he blessed it, saying it was too delicious to be from the devil. Soon, coffee houses exploded across cities like London, Paris, and Vienna. In fact, coffee houses in London were nicknamed penny universities because, for the price of a cup, you could sit and listen to brilliant minds discuss everything from science to philosophy.
Wow. So coffee was fueling the Enlightenment in more ways than one. Let's talk about what kinds of coffees are out there. I know we usually hear Arabica and Robusta, but what's the actual difference?
Good question. Arabica beans are generally sweeter, with hints of sugar, fruits, and berries. They contain less caffeine and are considered higher quality. Robusta beans, on the other hand, have more bitterness, a stronger body, and about twice the caffeine. They're often used in espresso blends for that signature kick. Arabica makes up about 60–70% of global production, and it's typically grown at higher altitudes.
That explains why some coffees taste so gentle while others punch you in the face. What about geography? Where is most of the world's coffee grown today?
Coffee is grown in a belt around the equator, known as the bean belt. The top coffee-producing countries include Brazil, the largest exporter in the world, known for smooth, nutty beans. Vietnam, mostly Robusta beans, very strong and earthy. Colombia, famous for balanced Arabica beans. Ethiopia, the birthplace, producing floral, complex beans.
Honduras, Peru, Mexico, Kenya, and Indonesia are also key players. Each region gives the beans a distinct flavor because of the altitude, soil, climate, and even the method of drying.
It's like wine. The terroir changes everything. But what about the ways we make coffee? I mean, sometimes I use a French press, other times espresso. How does that change the experience?
That's a whole universe in itself. Espresso, concentrated, intense, brewed under high pressure, foundation for cappuccinos, lattes, and macchiatos. French press, immersion method, brings out oils and full-bodied flavors. Pour over, clean, delicate, lets subtle notes shine. Cold brew, steeped in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. Smooth, low acidity. Turkish coffee, unfiltered, boiled with sugar and cardamom. Rich and bold. Each method reveals different sides of the same bean. It's like unlocking different rooms in a house.
I never thought of coffee as architectural, but yeah, it's got wings. So, Elena, let's get personal. When do you drink coffee?
Morning, always. It's almost sacred to me, a quiet ritual. I grind the beans fresh, use a pour over, and just enjoy the aroma before the chaos of the day begins. And you?
I'm the multiple cups a day type. Morning espresso, midday French press, late night. Okay, maybe that's pushing it, but yes, I love the process. I even visit local roasteries when I travel. The smell of roasted beans is like a warm handshake from the universe.
That's beautifully said. And coffee really is cultural, too. In Italy, it's espresso shots at the bar. In Sweden, they have fika, a ritual break with coffee and pastries. In Ethiopia, they hold elaborate coffee ceremonies. Even the Japanese have embraced specialty coffee with meticulous detail.
And don't forget Turkey. I had the strongest coffee of my life in Istanbul. But it's not just culture. Coffee is also a business empire, right?
Absolutely. The global coffee industry is worth over $100 billion and employs millions, from farmers to baristas. But there are concerns too: climate change, exploitation of workers, deforestation. That's why many now seek fair trade in organic beans. Ethical consumption is rising, and that's a good thing.
I agree. Let's respect the bean. And speaking of respect, some people worship coffee like a religion. Is that healthy?
In moderation, yes. Coffee has antioxidants, improves alertness, may reduce risks of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and even depression. The sweet spot? Usually 2 to 4 cups a day for most adults.
That's my comfort zone. You know what fascinates me? The psychology. Why do so many people love coffee?
Because it's a multi-sensory experience. The aroma triggers pleasure sensors. The taste is rich and complex. The warmth is comforting. It becomes a moment of pause, a symbol of comfort, or even identity. Some people feel incomplete without their morning cup.
I feel seen. Also, some prefer cafes, others brew at home. What do you think about that?
Cafes are social spaces. They encourage interaction, reflection, sometimes even creativity. Home brewing is more intimate, ritualistic. Each has its own beauty. Some people even treat coffee as a form of art, adjusting grind size, water temperature, extraction time. It's science and soul, really.
And the passion is global. Coffee is more than a drink. It's a story, a journey. From a high mountain farm in Colombia to a steaming mug in someone's quiet kitchen in Norway. And in every cup, there's a bit of history, a bit of culture, and a lot of love.
Exactly. And that's the magic of it. So, whether you're a casual drinker or a certified coffee fanatic, Remember to sip mindfully, support ethical sourcing, and savor the moment.
Honestly, Elena, I didn't think I'd get so deep into a conversation about coffee, but now I'm fascinated. From the farms in Ethiopia to cafes in Tokyo, it's like the entire world connects through one cup. That's powerful.
That's exactly the beauty of it, James. And I'm so glad you felt that. Sometimes it's these small everyday things, like a cup of coffee, that open the door to much deeper conversations, cultures, emotions, even memories. And I believe that's what we're trying to do here. Not just talk, but connect, explore, and share something meaningful. And to everyone listening right now, if this journey through the world of coffee stirred something in you, even just a spark of curiosity or comfort, I invite you to stay with us. Hit that subscribe button, and if you found this episode enriching, share it with someone who might enjoy it too. Let's spread the knowledge, the inspiration, and the joy of thoughtful conversation. Because the more you engage with us, the more we're able to keep creating these in-depth, warm, and valuable episodes, ones that don't just inform, but also inspire. So thank you, truly, for being part of this moment. Until next time, keep learning, keep sipping, and keep sharing. Welcome back, truth seekers and profound thinkers. Today, we're embarking on an exploration that touches the very core of what it means to live a meaningful life, to navigate complexity, and to truly understand the world around us. I'm Isabella, your ever-curious guide, and our topic today is nothing less than wisdom. Not just knowledge, not just intelligence, but that elusive, transformative quality that allows us to thrive. And who better to help us unearth its many facets than my brilliant co-pilot Diego, who brings a wealth of insight to every conversation. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the art of living wisely.
What an absolutely captivating introduction, Isabella. You've perfectly articulated the profound importance of our subject. For me, the pursuit of wisdom has always felt like a journey without a final destination, a continuous process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. It's fascinating how we often conflate wisdom with intelligence or mere factual knowledge. But as I've grown, I've come to see wisdom as something far more holistic, more integrated into our very being. It's about discernment, about applying what we know with empathy and foresight. It's about knowing not just what to do, but why to do it, and perhaps even more critically, when and how to do it.
Precisely. Let's start by clarifying that distinction. We live in an age overflowing with information. Knowledge is abundant, and intelligence in its various forms is highly valued, from analytical prowess to emotional intelligence. But what makes wisdom distinct? Is it simply accumulated knowledge or something more? And why, despite our access to so much information, does genuine wisdom sometimes seem rarer than ever?
That's the crux of it, isn't it? I'd argue that knowledge is the accumulation of facts, data, and information. It's the what. Intelligence is the ability to acquire, process, and apply that knowledge effectively, to solve problems, to learn new skills, to reason logically. It's the how of problem solving. But wisdom transcends both. It's the ability to understand the deeper meaning of things, to see the interconnectedness, to exercise sound judgment, especially in complex or uncertain situations, and to act in a way that promotes well-being, not just for oneself, but for others and the larger world. It's knowledge tempered by experience, empathy, and a deep understanding of human nature and its limitations. It's knowing not just the facts, but their implications, their ethical weight, and their long-term consequences.
That's beautifully put, Diego.
It suggests that wisdom isn't just about what you know, but how you know it, and more importantly, how you use it in a way that benefits beyond mere personal gain. So, if it's not merely about accumulating data or being quick witted, how do we cultivate it? Is it something we're born with, a genetic predisposition, or can it be learned and honed like any other skill, albeit a profoundly complex one?
I firmly believe it's something we cultivate. While some individuals may possess a natural inclination towards reflection or empathy, true wisdom is forged through experience, diligent reflection, and often through confronting our own limitations and mistakes. It's not found in textbooks alone. It's in the quiet moments of introspection, in the willingness to listen more than we speak, in the humility to admit, I don't know, or I was wrong. Learning from our successes is valuable, of course, as it builds confidence and refines effective strategies. But learning from our failures and shortcomings often provides a deeper, more enduring form of wisdom, etching lessons into our very being that mere instruction cannot. It's in the process of adapting, failing, and trying again with newfound understanding.
That's a profound point, Diego. The role of humility and self-awareness in the journey towards wisdom. It makes me think of the Socratic paradox. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. It's not about being ignorant, but about recognizing the vastness of what remains unknown, which then fuels further inquiry and openness rather than closing off to new ideas. It's a continuous state of beginner's mind, perhaps.
Absolutely. And that leads us to what I see as critical pillars of wisdom. Firstly, experience. While not all experiences automatically lead to wisdom, reflective experience certainly does. It's not just living through something, but deliberately processing it, understanding its implications, and integrating those hard-won lessons into future actions. A person who has faced significant challenges, be it personal loss, professional setbacks, or moral dilemmas, and emerged with greater understanding, not just scars, is often far wiser. It's the crucible where character and insight are truly forged.
And how true that is. It's about making meaning from our lives, isn't it? It's taking the raw material of lived moments and shaping it into something coherent and instructive. What about the role of empathy, which you touched upon earlier? How does connecting with others foster wisdom, and why is it so indispensable?
Empathy is absolutely crucial, Isabella. Wisdom isn't purely an intellectual exercise, it's deeply human. To understand complex situations, especially those involving other people, we need to be able to step into their shoes, to comprehend their motivations, fears, hopes, and their unique perspectives on the world. Without empathy, our judgments can be harsh, our solutions narrow, and our understanding incomplete or even damaging. A truly wise person doesn't just solve problems, they understand the human element within those problems, recognizing that every decision impacts real lives. They consider the ripple effects of their actions on others, striving for outcomes that are not only effective, but also just and humane. It's the bridge between raw knowledge and compassionate action.
That resonates deeply. It's the difference between a cold, logical solution that might technically work, but leaves a trail of human collateral damage, and one that is both effective and compassionate. And I'd add perspective to those pillars. The ability to see situations from multiple angles, to zoom out and see the larger context, the historical, cultural, or systemic forces at play, or to zoom in and appreciate the minute details and individual experiences. It's about detaching from our immediate emotional reactions or preconceived notions to gain a clearer, more balanced, and ultimately more accurate view of reality. It's the ability to hold contradictory ideas in your mind and consider them without immediate judgment.
Exactly. Perspective also involves looking beyond the immediate present. A wise person considers the long-term consequences of actions, understanding that quick fixes often lead to bigger problems down the line, much like addressing symptoms without curing the disease. They learn from history, not just to repeat it, but to anticipate future challenges and opportunities, recognizing patterns that transcend individual events. This foresight, this capacity to play chess with life and see several moves ahead, is a powerful hallmark of wisdom.
It's about understanding that current actions will inevitably shape future realities. And this kind of perspective also requires a healthy skepticism toward popular narratives and a willingness to question assumptions, including one's own.
Wisdom in action, decision-making, and navigating uncertainty. So let's talk about the practical application of wisdom. How does a wise person approach decision-making, especially in our increasingly complex, interconnected, and uncertain world? Because it feels like we're constantly bombarded with choices, many of which have significant ethical, social, or practical implications, and the stakes often feel incredibly high.
That's where wisdom truly shines, Isabella. Unlike someone who might react impulsively, get bogged down by analysis paralysis, or simply defer to authority without critical thought, a wise person approaches decisions with a blend of careful consideration, an intuitive grasp of the situation, and an acknowledgement of their own cognitive biases. They diligently gather relevant information, yes, but they also rely on their accumulated understanding of patterns, human behavior, and the likely outcomes of different paths. They often pause, reflect, and seek counsel from diverse sources, not just those who agree with them, demonstrating humility and an openness to different viewpoints. They weigh the knowns and acknowledge the unknowns, proceeding with a certain degree of informed caution.
And crucially, they understand that some problems don't have perfect solutions, only better ones. They're comfortable with ambiguity and are often willing to make decisions that might be unpopular in the short term, but are, in the long run, the most beneficial for the greater good. That takes immense courage, doesn't it? To stand by a difficult choice that aligns with a deeper ethical framework, even if it draws criticism.
Immense courage indeed. It's easy to follow the crowd, to succumb to groupthink, or to take the path of least resistance. Wisdom often requires charting an independent course, one based on deeply held principles, a clear vision of what's right, and a profound sense of responsibility even when it's difficult or lonely. It's also about knowing when not to act, when to wait, when to observe, and when to let things unfold naturally. This judicious restraint, the understanding that not every problem requires immediate intervention, is often overlooked, but is a powerful expression of wisdom. It reflects patience and a trust in natural processes or the resilience of others. And it extends to knowing when to say no to opportunities that might seem appealing but don't align with deeper values or long-term goals.
The eternal quest, cultivating wisdom throughout life. So, for our audience, what practical steps can one take to cultivate wisdom? Beyond just living life, which happens to everyone, how can we intentionally foster this invaluable quality in ourselves and help others do the same? Because it sounds like an ongoing, lifelong journey, not a destination you arrive at.
You're absolutely right, Isabella. It is an ongoing journey. I have a few suggestions that, while seemingly simple, can have profound effects. Firstly, embrace continuous learning, but not just factual learning. Read widely across disciplines: history, philosophy, psychology, literature, even poetry. Explore different worldviews, engage with diverse philosophies, study historical movements, and immerse yourself in art and literature. These don't just add facts, they broaden your understanding of the human condition, ethical dilemmas, and the vast spectrum of human experience. Secondly, practice mindful reflection. Journaling, regular meditation, or simply taking quiet, dedicated time to process your experiences can be incredibly powerful. Ask yourself deep questions like, what did I learn today? How did I contribute to a situation? What could I have done differently? What were my motivations and what were the actual consequences? This self-interrogation is crucial.
And I'd passionately add, seek diverse perspectives. Actively and intentionally engage in genuine conversations with people from different backgrounds, cultures, generations, and viewpoints than your own. Don't just listen to respond, genuinely listen to understand. Challenge yourself to articulate positions you don't necessarily agree with, just to understand their logical underpinnings. This actively breaks down mental silos, challenges your assumptions, and broadens your intellectual and emotional landscape, which is essential for growth. Also, crucially, embrace discomfort and failure. View challenges not as absolute setbacks, but as indispensable opportunities for profound learning. Each mistake, each misstep, Each moment of vulnerability can be a stepping stone to deeper wisdom if you're willing to reflect on it honestly, without excessive self-criticism or blame. Learn to extract the lesson, not just dwell on the pain.
Excellent, excellent points, Isabella. And finally, practice empathy and compassion in your daily interactions, not just towards those you know or like, but towards everyone you encounter. Consciously try to understand the experiences and feelings of others, even when their actions are perplexing or frustrating. This not only makes you a better, more humane individual, but also sharpens your ability to navigate complex social dynamics with a more nuanced and effective wisdom. Remember, wisdom isn't a static possession. It's a dynamic process, a lifelong endeavor of learning, reflecting, growing, and applying that growth with kindness and foresight. It's about striving to be a little better, a little more understanding each day.
So, my incredible audience, as we draw this illuminating discussion to a close, my heartfelt encouragement to you is this. Don't just seek knowledge, seek wisdom. It's not about being the smartest person in the room in terms of raw intellect, but about being the person who can bring insight, understanding, and compassionate judgment to any situation. It's about living a life that is not just long, but deep, meaningful, and impactful. It's about leaving behind a positive legacy, not just in terms of accomplishments, but in terms of character and influence. Because when we cultivate wisdom, we're not just improving ourselves, we're contributing to a more discerning, more empathetic, and ultimately a more peaceful and flourishing world. Wisdom at its heart is about understanding how to live well and how to help others do the same. It's the ultimate aspiration for a well-lived life. I'm Isabella, profoundly grateful you joined us on this transformative journey today. Until next time, keep learning, keep reflecting, and keep cultivating that untamed, beautiful garden of wisdom within you. Welcome, beautiful minds, to another enriching episode where curiosity meets profound conversation. I'm Isabella, and today I am beyond thrilled to dive into one of my absolute favorite topics, culture. Yes, culture, the vibrant heartbeat of every community, the kaleidoscope of colors behind every cherished tradition, the very soul of human expression. From the nuanced way we greet strangers to how we jubilantly celebrate love, food, family, or even the profound silence found in contemplation, culture meticulously shapes every facet of our existence. And joining me today is someone who consistently brings an invigorating, fresh perspective to the table, Diego. Together, we're going to embark on an intellectual journey to unravel the intricate tapestry of how cultures diverge, why they possess such paramount importance, and how genuinely understanding them can make us infinitely wiser, profoundly kinder, and more deeply connected. So, I invite you to grab your mental passport, open your heart wide, and let's embark on this transformative cultural odyssey together.
What an utterly captivating introduction, Isabella. You consistently possess this remarkable ability to paint topics with such vivid, evocative words, and I couldn't agree more wholeheartedly. Culture is indeed one of the most utterly fascinating and intricate aspects of being human. It's akin to an invisible yet omnipresent code that subtly governs how people live, how they perceive the world, and how they ultimately feel. I was fortunate to grow up in Mexico, and my culture is an exuberant celebration, overflowing with dazzling colors, boisterous festivities, soul-stirring music, and above all, an unwavering, profound reverence for family. But when I journeyed to Japan, for instance, I was immediately struck by an entirely different world. Serene, almost hushed streets, the eloquent simplicity of bowing as a greeting, and pervasive ethos of minimalism, and a deeply ingrained sense of harmonious equilibrium. This profound encounter unequivocally made me realize the sheer magnitude of knowledge and wisdom we can acquire when we courageously step outside our own familiar bubble.
Precisely, Diego. I vividly recall the very first time I visited Morocco. The hauntingly beautiful call to prayer echoing majestically across the ancient city, the intoxicating aroma of exotic spices wafting through the bustling markets, the overwhelming generosity and genuine hospitality of complete strangers. It was all so utterly magical, almost ethereal. I learned there that in Moroccan culture, the simple act of offering tea isn't merely about the beverage itself. It's a deeply symbolic ritual about sharing an intimate moment, about forging a profound, enduring connection. And that, in essence, is the unparalleled beauty of culture. It unequivocally teaches us that there isn't just one prescriptive, right way to live. Every single culture offers a unique and invaluable lens through which to perceive and interpret the world. Sometimes it's only when we encounter something radically different that we truly begin to grasp just how deeply ingrained and pervasive our own habitual behaviors and perceptions truly are, prompting a crucial reevaluation.
That's so incredibly true, Isabella. Culture also profoundly influences aspects we often take for granted, like the very concept of time. In some Latin American countries, including my own, being a few minutes late isn't perceived as rude or disrespectful. It's simply an intrinsic part of how life flows with a more relaxed, fluid rhythm. But in Germany or Switzerland, for example, punctuality is not merely appreciated, it's practically sacred. Initially, it can feel quite disorienting and unfamiliar, but then you gradually realize it's not about one culture being inherently better or worse. It's fundamentally about differing core values. Where one culture might deeply value flexibility and interpersonal warmth, another might prioritize precision and structured order. And when we hastily judge others without genuinely understanding that underlying cultural context, we tragically miss an invaluable opportunity for personal growth and expanded comprehension.
Beautifully articulated, Diego. And I strongly believe that language plays an immensely pivotal role in shaping culture as well. For instance, in Polish, where I am originally from, we possess specific, intricate forms of politeness that subtly shift based on age, the nature of the relationship, and the specific occasion. It's meticulously woven directly into the very fabric of our grammar. Meanwhile, in English, the linguistic approach is notably more neutral, arguably more relaxed. These fascinating linguistic differences profoundly reveal how various societies conceptualize hierarchy, express respect, or establish degrees of familiarity. And when you earnestly embark on learning a new language, you're not merely memorizing vocabulary. You are, in fact, stepping into an entirely new cognitive framework, a distinct way of perceiving and interpreting reality.
Yes, and culture also vividly manifests itself in how individuals express their deepest emotions. In some cultures, such as Italian or Brazilian, openly expressing joy, anger, or excitement is considered entirely natural and uninhibited. It's often loud, demonstrative, and brimming with passion. But in Nordic cultures, for instance, emotional restraint and controlled demeanor are highly valued. This doesn't imply that people feel less intensely. It simply means they choose to express those feelings differently. Once you grasp this fundamental distinction, you cease to misinterpret silence as aloofness or genuine enthusiasm as impropriety. You begin to listen not just with your ears, but with your eyes and your heart, discerning the subtler, nonverbal cues.
And food. How can we possibly discuss culture without reverently mentioning food? Every single dish tells a captivating story. Every distinct flavor profile carries centuries of history and tradition within it. In Turkey, breakfast is not just a meal, it's an elaborate event featuring an exquisite spread of cheeses, succulent olives, fresh tomatoes, artisanal bread, and comforting tea. It's a cherished, almost sacred daily ritual. In France, meals are unhurried, leisurely affairs, punctuated by rich, engaging conversation. In some Asian cultures, the act of sharing dishes from communal plates instead of individual portions profoundly symbolizes unity and collective respect. The very manner in which people eat reveals so much about their way of life. Even seemingly simple table manners carry deep, nuanced cultural meanings.
Absolutely. And don't even get me started on traditions and holidays. Day of the Dead in Mexico isn't about somber mourning. It's a vibrant, joyous celebration of remembrance, a festive tribute to those who have passed on. In India, Holi is an explosion of color and a profound celebration of forgiveness. In Finland, they embrace and even celebrate silence through the ritual of saunas. These rituals are far from arbitrary. They meticulously carry centuries of deeply held beliefs, spiritual healing, and a strong sense of collective identity. And when you participate in them, even as an outsider, you feel as though you've touched something ancient, something sacred, something profoundly human.
Yes, and I genuinely believe that actively exploring other cultures makes you more profoundly human. It cultivates empathy within you. It undeniably humbles you. It powerfully demonstrates that your normal isn't universal or the sole truth. And that understanding is incredibly potent. When we grasp this, we cease to fear the unknown. We begin to appreciate difference instead of resisting it. Whether it's through extensive travel, immersive books, captivating films, or simply by attentively listening to someone's personal story, culture connects us in ways no technology could ever truly replicate. Precisely, and I'd emphatically add, cultural awareness is an indispensable life skill now. In this increasingly globalized world, we work, we study, and we communicate with people from every conceivable corner of the planet. Understanding different cultural norms isn't merely polite, it's absolutely essential for effective interaction. It helps us avoid costly misunderstandings, build stronger, more authentic trust, and create inclusive spaces where everyone feels truly seen, heard, and valued. When you genuinely endeavor to understand someone's culture, you are effectively conveying a powerful message. I see you. I respect you. You matter.
Yes, Isabella, that's what it all ultimately boils down to, seeing one another fully and completely. Culture is the vibrant soul of a people. And when we learn to truly honor it, we evolve into better listeners, more compassionate neighbors, and more insightful leaders. So, to everyone listening, I earnestly encourage you, go forth and explore a culture that is currently unfamiliar to you. Read a poignant poem in another language. Dare to try a new exotic dish. Watch a compelling documentary that expands your horizons. Engage in conversation with someone from a vastly different background. And most importantly, remain insatiably curious. Because curiosity unfailingly leads to profound understanding. And understanding, in its purest form, inexorably leads to lasting peace. I'm Isabella, and I am profoundly grateful you joined us on this illuminating journey today. Until next time, keep learning, keep loving, and keep embracing the magnificent diversity of the world, one culture at a time.
Welcome back, mindful speakers and curious communicators. Today on the podcast, we're stepping back into the linguistic workshop to talk about a practice that can genuinely and profoundly transform how you express yourself. It's all about a simple but powerful mantra that we've come to love. Don't say this, say that instead. I'm Isabella, and with me today, as always, is my co-pilot in all things fascinating, Diego. Our conversation is about much more than just words. It's about choosing to communicate with greater clarity, greater impact, and greater empathy.
Hello, Isabella, and a warm welcome back to all of our listeners. I absolutely love this topic because, as you said, it goes so far beyond mere vocabulary. This isn't about being overly formal or trying to use complicated words to sound intelligent. It's about being precise. It's about being deliberate with your language, choosing a word that perfectly fits the emotion or idea you want to convey instead of relying on a vague, catch-all word that just gets you in the ballpark. The difference in communication is like the difference between a blurry, out-of-focus photograph and a stunningly sharp, focused one that captures every single detail.
That's a perfect and incredibly apt analogy, Diego. Let's start with a couple of the most common culprits, the ones that have become such habitual defaults for so many of us. I'm thinking of two words that English learners and even native speakers use all the time to describe their feelings: happy and sad. They're like the basic primary colors on the child's paint palette: red, blue, yellow. While they get the basic job done, they lack all the beautiful nuance and intricate detail that make our human emotions so rich and complex.
Absolutely. Imagine you're trying to share a story with a friend about a recent trip, maybe a trip you took to a breathtaking national park. You could say, I was really happy to be there. That's okay, but it's a bit flat and uninspired, isn't it? What if you were to say, I was absolutely ecstatic to be there? Or maybe I was simply thrilled. Those words don't just state a fact. They paint a much more vivid, powerful, and memorable picture of your joy, allowing your listener to feel the emotion with you. You're sharing an experience, not just reporting on it.
Exactly. And what's so powerful is how many subtle variations there are. If you were feeling a quieter, more profound rush of joy, you could say you felt content, or maybe even joyful. Each one has a distinctly different texture and a different emotional temperature. Content suggests a deep, peaceful satisfaction with the present moment, while joyful suggests a more bubbling, radiant, and outwardly expressive feeling. They all mean a version of happy, but each one tells a uniquely different and specific story about your state of mind.
The same goes for the opposite emotion. Instead of saying, I was so sad when the movie ended, try using a stronger, more precise word. Maybe you were devastated or heartbroken, which communicate a profound and crippling sense of loss. Or if the sadness was less intense, perhaps you were dejected, which implies a sense of disappointment and low spirits. Or just feeling a bit somber, which suggests a thoughtful, serious, and perhaps even melancholy mood. The single word sad just doesn't come close to capturing the true depth and intricate complexity of the human emotional spectrum.
It really doesn't. And to add yet another layer, think of the difference between being melancholy, which suggests a pensive, thoughtful kind of sadness, often with a hint of wistfulness, versus being despondent, which implies a much deeper, more crushing sense of hopelessness and discouragement. See how one well-chosen word can convey an entire emotional landscape in an instant? It's not just about a feeling, it's about the very quality of that feeling.
That's so true. It's like using a more advanced and more accurate tool for the job. Now let's move on to some of the most overused adjectives in the English language. I'm talking about good and nice. We use them to describe everything: a meal, a person, a movie, an experience. That was a good book. He's a nice person. They're like linguistic filler, a default that allows us to avoid the effort of deeper description.
Oh, they are. They're so generic, they barely mean anything at all, and they often come across as unenthusiastic. When you say the restaurant served a good meal, you're not telling me anything about the food. Was it delicious? Was it mouth-watering? Was it so well prepared that it was exquisite? A good piece of advice could be sound or astute. A good performance could be stellar or exceptional. The right word gives your opinion authenticity and weight.
Exactly. And when you're describing a person as nice, you're doing them a disservice because nice can sometimes be a passive, even backhanded compliment. What about them is nice? Were they considerate? Were they kind-hearted? Were they cordial or amiable? Were they just plain delightful or charming? Using more specific words automatically makes you sound more thoughtful, more confident, and more genuine in your praise.
That's it. Instead of saying, that's a good idea, you could say, that's an excellent idea, or a superb idea, or a brilliant idea. Each of those gives more weight to your praise, showing that you've truly evaluated the idea and found it to be impressive. Your words become a form of validation, not just a simple acknowledgement.
Speaking of weak words, let's talk about the lazy intensifier, very. It's a crutch. We use it to try to make our weak adjective stronger, but often it just highlights how weak the original adjective is. We rely on it because it's easy, but it's a habit we can easily break.
I completely agree. The best way to beat this habit is to find a single, powerful word that replaces the two. Instead of saying very hungry, a much more descriptive word is ravenous. Instead of very tired, you could say you're exhausted or drained. When you use words like that, you don't need very anymore, and your language becomes more dynamic, more impactful, and more elegant.
Let's try a few more because this is such a common habit. Instead of very happy, we already said ecstatic or thrilled. What about very cold?
That could be frigid or freezing. And what about very beautiful?
You could say stunning, gorgeous, or breathtaking. What about very big? That's a common one.
Very big could be colossal, mammoth, or immense. And very small could be minute, tiny, or microscopic. Using these single words is so much more impactful. It's a testament to the fact that sometimes less is more when it comes to the number of words, as long as the words themselves are stronger. It shows you have a rich vocabulary and you're not afraid to use it. It elevates your entire message.
The subtleties of language, from phrases to emotional honesty. This isn't just about adjectives, though. We also have to be careful with the phrases we use. For instance, in professional or academic contexts, phrases like I think or in my opinion can sometimes weaken your statement, making you sound unsure or hesitant. It's a verbal safety net.
That's a great point. While it's good to be humble, constantly prefacing your ideas with I think can make them sound like they're not fully formed or that you're not truly committed to them. You could say, I believe that, or it appears that, or even based on my analysis to sound more confident and authoritative. These phrases show that you've put thought into your words without sounding arrogant. They simply present your conviction with a firmer tone.
Or even just stating the point directly if you have the data to back it up. Instead of saying, I think we should launch the product in Q3, you could say launching the product in Q3 aligns with our market research, which suggests this is a critical shift. It's about moving from a personal thought to a data-backed statement. It shows you're a leader, not just a hesitant participant in the conversation.
And it's a similar story with another overused phrase, a lot. I have a lot of work to do. There are a lot of challenges. This phrase is so vague that it gives no specific sense of scale or gravity. It could mean 2 items or 2,000.
Exactly. Instead of a lot, you could use words like numerous, abundant, or plentiful. These words offer a more descriptive and professional way to express the same idea. Or even better, you could quantify it. Instead of I have a lot of emails, you could say I have dozens of emails to respond to, which is far more concrete and professional.
That's a huge improvement. And on the topic of filler words, let's address something that's particularly common in spoken English, like and actually. People use them to punctuate nearly every sentence, even when they're not needed. It was like a really cool movie, or she was like so upset, or I was like actually there.
That's a habit that's incredibly easy to fall into, but it can make a speaker sound unsure, hesitant, or even immature. Instead of using like or actually as a verbal crutch, the best thing you can do is simply pause. A brief silence while you collect your thoughts is infinitely more powerful and confident than a filler word. It gives your listener a chance to absorb what you've said and gives you a moment to formulate your next impactful thought.
I completely agree. And while we're on the subject of vague language, let's talk about the words stuff and things. I have so much stuff to do. Can you grab all those things off the table? These words are lazy and unspecific, leaving the listener to guess at your meaning.
They really are. Instead of I have so much stuff to do, you could say I have so many tasks to complete or I have so many chores to get through. And instead of grab those things off the table,
You could say, "Can you grab the documents and the notebook off the table?" This kind of precision saves time, eliminates confusion, and shows you thought about what you're asking.
That's a huge improvement.
And on the topic of vague words, let's address something that's particularly common in spoken English, like and actually. People use them to punctuate nearly every sentence, even when they're not needed. It was like a really cool movie, or she was like so upset, or I was like actually there.
That's a habit that's incredibly easy to fall into, but it can make a speaker sound unsure, hesitant, or even immature. Instead of using like or actually as a verbal crutch, the best thing you can do is simply pause. A brief silence while you collect your thoughts is infinitely more powerful and confident than a filler word. It gives your listener a chance to absorb what you've said and gives you a moment to formulate your next impactful thought.
I completely agree. And while we're on the subject of vague language, let's talk about the words stuff and things. I have so much stuff to do. Can you grab all those things off the table? These words are lazy and unspecific, leaving the listener to guess at your meaning.
They really are. Instead of I have so much stuff to do, you could say I have so many tasks to complete, or I have so many chores to get through. And instead of grab those things off the table, you could say, can you grab the documents and the notebook off the table? This kind of precision saves time, eliminates confusion, and shows you've thought about what you're asking.
The deeper why, from communication to connection.
So, to our listeners, why is this practice so important? It's not just about sounding impressive, it's about a more profound and fundamental goal: clarity and connection.
That's it. Stronger words are more precise. They help you communicate your exact meaning, leaving less room for misinterpretation or misunderstanding. They also make your speech and writing more engaging and memorable. People are far more likely to remember a vivid description than a bland, generic one.
And it's also builds credibility and confidence. Using a diverse and precise vocabulary shows that you've mastered the nuances of the language, which naturally makes you sound more authoritative and self-assured, whether you're speaking at a major business meeting or just having a casual chat with a friend. You project an image of someone who is thoughtful and deliberate.
And ultimately, it's a powerful form of personal growth. Consciously choosing your words forces you to think more deeply and critically about what you want to say. It builds self-awareness and linguistic confidence. It's a habit that enriches all areas of your life, from professional presentations and personal relationships to your own internal monologue.
So, to our listeners who want to start this journey, a simple practice is to pick one of these weak words like good or very and consciously try to replace it just once a day. Keep a mental list or even a small notebook of new words you want to add to your vocabulary.
That's a great actionable tip. I also love the two-word rule. When you catch yourself using a weak word, challenge yourself to come up with two better, more specific alternatives. It's a quick mental exercise that builds your vocabulary muscle. And remember that this is a journey, not a race. You're simply choosing to be more mindful, one word at a time.
And a final exercise for everyone listening. For the next week, whenever you're listening to a podcast or reading a book, actively try to identify the strong words the hosts or authors use. When you encounter a word like ravishing or imperative or unflappable, stop and think, what a great way to say very beautiful or very important or calm. This trains your ear and your mind to recognize and appreciate better vocabulary, making it easier for you to use those words yourself later.
Thank you so much, Diego, for this incredibly insightful and enriching conversation. And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on this journey. Remember, your words are not just sounds. They are your most powerful tools for connection and expression. Let's make them sharp, polished, and ready to build a better, more connected world.
Until next time, keep speaking with purpose. Hello, and welcome back to our channel.
I'm Elena, and I'm thrilled to be here again with you today. And joining me, as always, is James, full of curiosity and always ready to dive deep. Today's topic is something many of us adore, crave, and even rely on daily: coffee. Not just a drink, but a ritual, a culture, and for some, a lifelong love. James, are you ready?
More than ready, Elena. This is a topic that literally runs through my veins. I think coffee is not just something you drink, it's something you live. So let's begin right at the roots. Where did this magical bean come from?
Great start. Coffee, as far as most historians agree, originated in Ethiopia. There's a famous legend of a goat herder named Kaldi who noticed his goats dancing energetically after eating red berries from a certain tree. That tree, of course, was coffee. From Ethiopia, coffee spread to Yemen, where it was first cultivated systematically. The port city of Mocha, yes, that's where the name comes from, became a major coffee trading hub in the 15th century.
That's wild. So the goats discovered it first. And from Yemen, I guess it traveled through the Islamic world?
Exactly. By the 16th century, coffee had spread throughout the Ottoman Empire, Persia, and North Africa. It was consumed in coffee houses known as kave-khane, which became centers of intellectual exchange, music, chess, and conversation, like early podcast lounges.
I love that image. Candles, poetry, and tiny cups of strong, mysterious brew. When did it reach Europe?
In the 17th century, through the port of Venice, coffee entered Europe. Some religious figures called it the bitter invention of Satan, but once Pope Clement VIII tasted it, he blessed it, saying it was too delicious to be from the devil. Soon, coffee houses exploded across cities like London, Paris, and Vienna. In fact, coffee houses in London were nicknamed penny universities because, for the price of a cup, you could sit and listen to brilliant minds discuss everything from science to philosophy.
Wow, so coffee was fueling the Enlightenment in more ways than one. Let's talk about what kinds of coffees are out there. I know we usually hear Arabica and Robusta, but what's the actual difference?
Good question. Arabica beans are generally sweeter, with hints of sugar, fruits, and berries. They contain less caffeine and are considered higher quality. Robusta beans, on the other hand, have more bitterness, a stronger body, and about twice the caffeine. They're often used in espresso blends for that signature kick. Arabica makes up about 60–70% of global production, and it's typically grown at higher altitudes.
That explains why some coffees taste so gentle while others punch you in the face. What about geography? Where is most of the world's coffee grown today?
Coffee is grown in a belt around the equator, known as the bean belt. The top coffee-producing countries include Brazil, the largest exporter in the world, known for smooth, nutty beans. Vietnam, mostly Robusta beans, very strong and earthy. Colombia, famous for balanced Arabica beans. Ethiopia, the birthplace, producing floral, complex beans. Honduras, Peru, Mexico, Kenya, and Indonesia are also key players. Each region gives the beans a distinct flavor because of the altitude, soil, climate, and even the method of drying.
It's like wine. The terroir changes everything. But what about the ways we make coffee? I mean, sometimes I use a French press, other times espresso. How does that change the experience?
That's a whole universe in itself. Espresso, concentrated, intense, brewed under high pressure, foundation for cappuccinos, lattes, and macchiatos. French press, immersion method, brings out oils and full-bodied flavors. Pour over, clean, delicate, lets subtle notes shine. Cold brew,
steeped in cold water for 12 to 24 hours. Smooth, low acidity. Turkish coffee, unfiltered, boiled with sugar and cardamom. Rich and bold. Each method reveals different sides of the same bean. It's like unlocking different rooms in a house.
I never thought of coffee as architectural, but yeah, it's got wings. So, Elena, let's get personal. When do you drink coffee?
Morning, always. It's almost sacred to me, a quiet ritual. I grind the beans fresh, use a pour over, and just enjoy the aroma before the chaos of the day begins. And you?
I'm the multiple cups a day type. Morning espresso, midday French press, late night. Okay, maybe that's pushing it. But yes, I love the process. I even visit local roasteries when I travel. The smell of roasted beans is like a warm handshake from the universe.
That's beautifully said. And coffee really is cultural, too. In Italy, it's espresso shots at the bar. In Sweden, they have fika, a ritual break with coffee and pastries. In Ethiopia, they hold elaborate coffee ceremonies. Even the Japanese have embraced specialty coffee with meticulous detail.
And don't forget Turkey. I had the strongest coffee of my life in Istanbul. But it's not just culture. Coffee is also a business empire, right?
Absolutely. The global coffee industry is worth over $100 billion and employs millions, from farmers to baristas. But there are concerns too: climate change, exploitation of workers, deforestation. That's why many now seek fair trade in organic beans. Ethical consumption is rising, and that's a good thing.
I agree. Let's respect the bean. And speaking of respect, some people worship coffee like a religion. Is that healthy?
In moderation, yes. Coffee has antioxidants, improves alertness, may reduce risks of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and even depression. The sweet spot? Usually 2 to 4 cups a day for most adults.
That's my comfort zone. You know what fascinates me? The psychology. Why do so many people love coffee?
Because it's a multi-sensory experience. The aroma triggers pleasure sensors. The taste is rich and complex. The warmth is comforting. It becomes a moment of pause, a symbol of comfort, or even identity. Some people feel incomplete without their morning cup.
I feel seen. Also, some prefer cafes, others brew at home. What do you think about that?
Cafes are social spaces. They encourage interaction, reflection, sometimes even creativity. Home brewing is more intimate, ritualistic. Each has its own beauty. Some people even treat coffee as a form of art, adjusting grind size, water temperature, extraction time. It's science and soul, really.
And the passion is global. Coffee is more than a drink. It's a story, a journey. From a high mountain farm in Colombia to a steaming mug in someone's quiet kitchen in Norway. And in every cup, there's a bit of history, a bit of culture, and a lot of love.
Exactly. And that's the magic of it. So, whether you're a casual drinker or a certified coffee fanatic, remember to sip mindfully, support ethical sourcing, and savor the moment.
Honestly, Elena, I didn't think I'd get so deep into a conversation about coffee, but now I'm fascinated. From the farms in Ethiopia to cafes in Tokyo, it's like the entire world connects through one cup. That's powerful.
That's exactly the beauty of it, James. And I'm so glad you felt that. Sometimes it's these small everyday things, like a cup of coffee, that open the door to much deeper conversations, cultures, emotions, even memories. And I believe that's what we're trying to do here. Not just talk, but connect, explore, and share something meaningful. And to everyone listening right now, if this journey through the world of coffee stirred something in you, even just a spark of curiosity or comfort, I invite you to stay with us. Hit that subscribe button, and if you found this episode enriching, share it with someone who might enjoy it too. Let's spread the knowledge, the inspiration, and the joy of thoughtful conversation. Because the more you engage with us, the more we're able to keep creating these in-depth, warm, and valuable episodes, ones that don't just inform but also inspire. So thank you, truly, for being part of this moment. Until next time, keep learning, keep sipping, and keep